Good afternoon, everyone. This is Chris Phillips with All Things Outdoors. Thanks for joining us. In today's video, you're going to see a slide failure that happened with our 2021 Grand Design Solitude 390RKR. Fortunately for us, my wife and I were actually going to a Lippert getaway rally in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee when the failure occurred going down the freeway. So we were able to get it rectified and rebuilt quickly. Mark and Jeremy of Lippert are the ones you're going to see in the video that give a very detailed explanation of how the Schwintek slide operates, what's required in terms of support, what is each mechanism, a gib. Who knew what a gib was? I didn't, but I know now. Why the rivets are required, how to time the slide. They give a lot of information in there. So I hope you will find it informative. Full disclosure, I am working with Lippert and with Grand Design to get my slide rebuilt correctly, which is going to require the slide to be completely removed, the two missing rollers added on each side of the kitchen, and reinstalled. So stay tuned for updates on that as we go along through this process. This is just the initial failure and rebuild of the Schwintek system and to get the slide back operational, but it is no more supported now than it was. Just to be full disclosure and be honest with you guys, we're not out of the woods yet. We're getting there. At least now we know what is the crux of the issue, and we're not just band-aiding the problem by continuing to repair the slide that's going to fail again. So hope you enjoy. If you get a moment, if you like what we have here, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you have comments below, I'll be happy to address those. I'd love to hear your feedback on where we can be better and what comments, questions you may have in regards to the video or what we have going forward. Hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy the video. All right, these are the rollers in here. Sorry, I'm covering my light up with the phone with my hand right there. They come out of focus. There we go. We should put the light back on. So what we're supposed to have is, per Lippert, is 4 of these. On our kitchen slides, I only have 2. I have one here, and then all the way over on the other side, I have one just like it. There should be 2 more 18 inches in from this one on each side, and they're not. So you can lower to look at, and you can see, turn this light off, how far out we've got the slide. And I'm obviously down on in the living room looking up into the kitchen, so you can check that way. So this is the wall separation beside the slide where it came out. And ironically, it didn't really pull this middle step apart on that side as much, but on this side there's a major gap, and it's loose. When you step on it, it clicks. There's some other issues on the other side of the slide, but this is the major wall separation piece there.
And everything just, you got another V-roller up top. This is your bottom rack, and this basically slides. Once it goes in, that V-roller sits right here and rolls. So if I can get my bearings here, so it'll go like this. And it contacts the gear here, and your V-roller just helps support the weight and roll right there.
That's right. And that roller is what's not being supported currently, and that's what's caused it to break, the bounce.
Well, the rollers in the floor are the ones that aren't being supported.
Okay.
And then, so that's putting all the pressure here.
Right.
And when this system starts doing this number, you can see how those start moving. Just like the one that Mark took over that he has in his hand, those rivets you can actually see are bent. You can just see how it shears the shears the head straight off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Those are the gibs. This is your gibs. Again, this is your V-roller, your bearing block, your spur gear, and this is your rack, obviously, and this is your torque shaft.
Okay.
That's all there is to it. Not a whole lot to the system.
Yeah.
But it can cause some problems when it's not all working together.
Sure.
And like I was showing you yesterday, like these are shear rivets. These go in that little hole.
Okay.
But they're made for installation, so that the back side is your fixed side. This is your float side.
Okay.
So the float side, once is installed, these plastic shear rivets are made to shear so that this can move so once this is in, you see little holes like that shear rivet right there. Goes in that hole and it sits inside that hole in here. Well, once it's installed, those shear rivets will shear, and then it allows this mechanism to move in and out just a little bit. That's where I was saying it's designed to do this,
Right.
not to do this.
Okay.
And that's what shears them.
Okay.
Is that weight's going up and down, up and down, up and
Right.
down, and then it just starts.
And so I'm oriented correct that up and down is the bouncing.
Yep.
This way, right? Okay.
Yep. And like I said, once those shear rivets shear, and there's 2 top, 2 bottom, just like they're here, and then this is designed to just float in and out.
Right.
So there's not rigidity to it.
Sure.
Give it some play, give it a little bit of movement, and it does this when it's moving or when it's running, so it can actually fluctuate just a little bit within about 1/8 of an inch.
Okay.
But these are not designed to support weight up and down. They're designed for guidance, so that this isn't moving, it's just guidance this way.
Right.
Because if these weren't there, then this would just drop out. So they're designed to guide it this way and keep it in place, not for amount of pressure going up and down.
I see.
And that's where it starts shearing the rivets. So what we're going to do is we're going to knock these rivets out. Probably have to drill the hole out just a little bit so that we can get the bigger rivets into it if we can. If not, we're going to put screws into it.
Okay.
So we'll get that part started, and he's making a new gib so that we can get you back to functioning, please.
Okay. Perfect.
Well, it doesn't technically cut it. It breaks it.
Oh.
The rivet's made that when it squeezes and gets so far, it'll actually shear inside here because it's just aluminum. So it'll stretch it and just break it. So it starts out like that. And you got one extra rivet, Mark? I'll waste one so you can see what it does. So when it goes in, see how it's got that indent inside there? It goes in there and spreads. And then when it gets down so far, it just breaks it off.
Okay.
Pick that other one up here in a second. I don't want the puppers getting. I had to waste one to show them how it worked.
Turn this into Nat Geo.
And this is where you, like you was talking yesterday, how a lot of people know how to rebuild it like this, because it's not actually all that hard to do.
Right.
But without finding what the actual cause is,
Yeah, you just throwing rivets at it.
These will keep breaking.
Yeah.
So with new rivets, when we get the other 2 blocks put in, and he's done with them, we can reseal it. Put it back. So you were asking about these. These are the shear rivets. So you can see how this moves up and down. Without this, you install this in there. Find a hole. There it is. Put one on that side, one on that side, and now that's what helps keep it in place when you hang it.
Right.
Hang it up, and that way when you're installing it, all this just doesn't fall apart when you're getting ready to go. Ready to time it?
Get out of your way. I'm glad you're getting it fixed.
Well, this is like, as Jeremy said, this is a temporary fix, so this will get me back functional until I can get Grand Design to
Send you the rollers.
Yeah, well, no, there's got to go back to them. They're going to take the slide completely out.
Oh.
Add the rollers, then put it back in on both sides.
Okay.
So,
Both rollers are missing. Where are the rollers at?
so Jeremy can explain that better than I can. So.
There's two rollers that get installed by the OEM underneath the slide out.
Okay.
Our specifications state that you should have one 6 inches. I'm flush with the towel. Should have one 6 inches in from the ends on each side, and then 18 inches after that, every 18 inches. As Mark stated, because he works with Grand Design a lot, should be 4 rollers per slide out. There's 2.
And it's the same on the other side as well.
You can see them inside, or
Yeah, he can. They can show you where it's at in there. Or when we get inside.
take a look at mine. Make sure it's got 4.
Yeah.
Our system's rebuilt.
Awesome.
Everything else seemed to be in pretty good shape as far as parts wise. So there wasn't a whole lot we were going to put parts into it.
Okay.
So we redid the rivets with a little, probably one slight size bigger just to fit the holes a little bit tighter, I'd
Right.
imagine. Other than that, we're going to throw her back in and you should be back to operational
Okay.
until you can get it up there
Right.
and have it looked at or have it repaired properly. And like I said, we already have the system built,
Yeah.
so it'll already be ready. And if we have, especially have prior notification of when you're coming, then it won't be a problem to get, even if that one doesn't stick around, if we nab parts of it off or something else.
Sure.
You'll still have yours.
Well, thank you guys. Have been awesome to work with, and I know Teresa is.
She's a godsend.
Yeah. So she's actually. I've got her CC'd in on our email
Yep.
to Grand Design Customer Service, and they're coordinating. So whenever you guys are finished, your work order is going to me and also to Grand Design, so they'll have all of the information. So I provide them everything they need from me. So.
And then from here on, until this is the service bulletin is out and taken care of, block it. Block underneath of it so it's not bouncing.
Right.
Inside, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Until, because unfortunately with this system, what I wanted to do was reset it and see if we could bring it lower.
Right.
Which with the way the opening is, I don't think I can.
Right. Not enough room in there.
But having the same, having to rebuild this, I can't lower it enough to offset the holes.
Right.
And if I try to offset it and I catch that hole, it's going to pull it right back up, or you're going to have 2 holes so close together it's going to lose structure.
All it out. Sure.
So we're going to put them back in the same holes. It's going to function, but it's going to need to be blocked up so this doesn't happen to you until it can get taken in.
Okay.
So we'll have you functional, and what you guys decide to do and when, between you guys and Grand Design.
Sure.
Unfortunately, we got ahead of ourselves and didn't take a whole lot of pictures.
That's okay.
But
we took a few pictures in there.
They know how to get a hold of me
Yeah.
from Grand Design, and I can verify what we ran into,
Right.
Exactly what was going on,
Sure.
what was broke, and what came
Right.
apart. As far
We
as
can go inside and you
Yeah,
can
you-
show Jessica where the rollers
Yep.
are, where they need to be,
Yep.
and walk through that. I think that'd be very useful and helpful.
And then, but as far as your wall separation stuff like that, you got those pictures and sent to Grand Design, correct? Okay.
And so,
So, and like I said, those shear rivets, they keep this from
right.
coming apart when we're installing it.
Okay.